and Mitchell. Okay, so Civil War, a long time ago. January 1861. It all starts with like South Carolina seceding, and then all the other ones are just, yeah, do that too. And then Lincoln is inaugurated because of, that's why the South seceded, because they thought he was terrible. And then,
he was paying up.
yeah, exactly. So then, April the same year, Fort Sumter, near the border, some border, was attacked by the Confederates, and that was the first shots of the war. Okay, Kyler. Emancipation Proclamation, years later, save the flags.
It's not really all that important.
That's just what they say in the textbook. African Americans, how about that? And then Lincoln's reelected in November '64. War basically ends April 7th, 1865, and then a few days later, Lincoln dies. So,
not a big deal.
we have a quote.
That's too bad.
And that picture is just a good quote.
Joe, you want to read the quote?
No.
Go back.
Okay, in yellow journalism that also took place in the, okay, it was absolutely an important moment in the history of the press, okay, and in yellow journalism that happened while they were typing. The journalists printed almost any rumor that came up because they didn't have that much to talk about, just the old times, and it was the start of yellow journalism. And what that means is it screwed up facts to make a story more extravagant. And it's very corrupt.
Okay.
What? Wait.
Where'd that go?
How many?
Share with Kobe. Go back.
Whoa, where's the mouse?
Can we go back?
Yeah, hang on.
Oh yeah, they're taking notes.
They're just here enjoying.
Yeah, I was thinking that's really the
Are we good?
No.
We're good to go, okay.
Remember philosophy course.
Oh, okay, and similarities today is like the wages were pretty low compared to how much work they did, and there was like no little job security, so you can get fired like right away if they think you're doing a bad job. And there was a lot of, huh? Oh, okay. There was lots of like bias reporting going on, like people were just kind of throwing their opinions onto some things. Oh, sorry, man. And then it wasn't always like truthful.
Like yellow journalism.
That's a singer.
I know there's no.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with the size of the
Dude, maybe use a journalist. Come on.
Okay,
It's a spoon.
they, it's not, oh, it might be a spoon. Anyway, okay, so they grew dramatically in size. In 1800, there was no more than 200 newspapers, but then in 1830, they created the penny press and made distribution faster.
Who's they?
Well,
there was,
we already took notes,
we already took notes on that.
You should know that.
yeah, Tyler.
Who are you referring to
The dimensions were commonly 15 by 11.
So similar dimensions.
That guy invented the penny press.
Is that who that is? Or is that a veteran?
No, that's a veteran.
That's like,
That's why he doesn't.
That was his hobby.
Okay. Is everyone good on that?
Yeah.
Alright, good turning points in the war, or good 4 turning points in the war. It helped slaves hear about news, so because before then there's no way to know what's going on the other side of the world, or the U.S. and helped spread news of the Emancipation Proclamation. It allowed citizens to be informed about the war, and names and dates were now much more important because everything was more current.
There's just a couple dudes.
And checking things like, you know, lists of casualties during battles.
Yeah.
Would be something that we
So they know who died, like family members.
Neighbors.
Why is that?
Why?
Where are we at, Doug?
Just rushing people.
Oh.
You good? Everybody done?
That's capitalized. Good job, future editing.
I mean, that's important.
That's just our style.
0.
The North and South's demand for journalism.
Get someone.
Yeah, demand for journalism. Started the war, skyrocketed. And like everywhere in the country, people wanted to know what was happening in the war, like seeing what kind of progress is being made. And this made newspapers quite important.
This is Abraham Lincoln's cat,
It's a visual approximation.
so that's why it ties in.
Yeah, it was like an artist's rendition of Abe Lincoln's cat.
On the
Mitch.
baseball.
Oh, give me an interesting fact about his cat.
Oh man, he was pretty small. I mean, as you can see.
So A, is there more? Is there another one?
About his cat. Investigative journalism. Who was on the right side of the war?
Deep thoughts with Mitchell.
It's a rhetorical question. Reports of casualties were available. Generals and as well as strategies were now published. For the first time in warfare, leaks were now happening due to reporters. And that is a visual approximation of a soldier.
He looks really happy.
Looks happy to be there.
This is so funny. Okay, next.
Alright, photography, for the first time they had photos. So pictures from battle were now being shown, which is pretty cool. Anyone could see what the leaders look like Hitler, who's not in this war, but they could see what Hitler looked like if they
We're gonna give
wanted
Hitler a shout out in journalism.
We were doing that in history,
Nice
so.
name drop, Joe.
So casualty pictures helped to recognize those who had died, like an obituary kind of, and helped to create a vivid image of what was happening in the war.
Fun fact, after the war, there were so many of these like negative glass plates that they used for cameras, is that most of the photographers just sold them to greenhouses for the glass, and then the sun would fade the pictures away. Oh, okay, maybe it's not a fun fact, that's just a fact.
We good to go?
Please.
Here's our more exciting. Some good fun.
So, Antebellum American, I recommend this site.
All right, they brought up the technological development. We heard from our technology group on Friday.